Hello everyone and welcome to the start of week 33 in my 4th grade class. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Marily Sanchez and I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Florida. Today is Monday, April 22nd, 2024, and it is Earth Day. So I hope that you're doing something to help and thank our planet today for everything that it does for us, because it is the only home that we have in this universe. All right, so today I started with my block 1. And as soon as they came in, they had to grab their laptops because I had a lot of students that hadn't finished their reading test from Friday, which is Wonders Unit 5, Week 5, on how can learning about the past help us understand the present. And it was going over chronological order, sidebars as a text feature, and adages and proverbs. So students were working on that. Oh, and author's perspective as well. Students were working on that for the majority of the period. They took a long time. I think I still have a few students that haven't finished. They're going to have to finish tomorrow at some point. But then after lunch, we went ahead and started working on our magnetic reading Unit 1 assessment. This is our magnetic reading book that our school purchased for us. It is part of Curriculum Associates, which is a branch of iReady. And this is, wow, I actually turned to the one we were using. This is the one that we were reading. So with my homeroom, I only was able to read the passage with them because we ran out of time. And tomorrow when they come to me, they'll answer the questions they can write in these books for my block 1. But my block 2, which are my ESOL students, my ELO learners, they don't have a copy of this book. So I ended up making copies of that particular unit assessment for them. And that's what we worked on today in class for the class period. And it is all part of our crunch time since our test will be in 3 weeks. So as we were reading, we were gathering information because we went ahead and did our SPADE strategy, which is survey the text. So we looked at the text features, got an idea for what it was. We predicted, that's the P, and the A is analysis and annotations, and the D is dissecting the questions. So, and E is for evidence. So the D we were doing before we started reading the passage, which is dissecting the questions. So we kind of had an idea what we needed to look for as we read the passage. And because story elements is one of those standards that my students need more help with, I ended up focusing on that. So this is how our board looks. We built up on each of these different sections as we read the passage. So we were specifically looking at our main character, Finn, his teacher, Miss Kashif, the problem, the resolution, and the theme. So as we were reading, we were adding information about how we got to know the characters. And then at the end, we wrote the problem, the students gave me the solution, and we came up with the theme. Then students went ahead, and after I read the story to them and we talked about it, they answered the questions on their own. Now, there are 2 written response questions. One is a short response and the other one is a longer extended response. So I decided to give them a closed paragraph so that they can just fill in the blanks with the words from the box to complete the answer on their papers. This is the first short response, or it's the only short response. This one is on theme. And as you can see, I gave them the word box and I had them help me figure out the first 4 and then they figured out the rest. And this is the extended response one, which was a little bit longer, but it talks about the conflict, how the main character responds to the conflict, information is about the setting, the events, and the characters. So I went ahead and I created another closed response with a word box so the students can work on that. And we worked on the first 4 words so that the students can complete the rest. This is also how today's classroom screen looks. As you can see, we got through finishing the test and working on iReady. I actually had some students finish their iReady, and we started with the magnetic reading unit 1 assessment, but we didn't finish it. So we didn't get to the paired poems that I wanted to do, singular and plural nouns, and working on their personal narrative. And then this is the screen for block 2. And we just got through the magnetic reading unit 1. So that's pretty much what we were able to do today. And I'm okay. I do realize that I ended up over planning, which is fine. It kind of gives me an idea of how much we can actually accomplish during a class period. So tomorrow we'll just catch up and go from there. On Wednesday, I will not be here. I'm taking the day off to go to some doctor appointments. So I'll be back on Thursday, which happens to be Take Your Child to Work Day. So I actually have like 3 days that I am doing instruction with my students. Wednesday, I'm leaving some things for them to review for poetry. And yeah, so I will catch up with you tomorrow to see how our day goes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of the day Tuesday. And I wanted to let you know how our day went. This morning, I started with my block 2, which is my ELO students, and this was our classroom screen. So this is how it was all set up with our schedule, our agenda, our lo-fi beats playing whenever I needed them to play, the date, and the team numbers. Let's go ahead and update this because it needs to be updated. So as soon as students walked in, they had this slide, which I made in PowerPoint, and I just spotlighted it so the students knew as soon as they came in, they grabbed their laptops and they started working on iReady minutes. So we worked on that for a good 45 minutes or so, and then we went ahead and started reading our paired poems. So our paired poems for today are How the Leaves Came Down, and this one had 7 stanzas, and poem 2 was Manatee. So it was paired poems, and then they had to answer questions related to both poems, along with completing a table answer where they needed to state where the detail came from, whether it was poem 1, poem 2, or both poems. This is a resource that comes from the Fast Preparation and Practice from Wonders. So we worked on this, and then we worked on singular and plural nouns on this page and on the back from the grammar minutes. So this page again comes from a resource in Wonders, which is for grammar and writing, and this is grammar minutes. And then we worked on irregular plural nouns, and both of these pages came from the Wonders resource on grammar and writing. So that's what we worked on for block 2, and then for block 1. And as you can see, I was very ambitious with my planning going back to block 2 for the morning. I kind of moved some things that we weren't able to do from yesterday, and I should have left my plan simple and just realized that I may just get through one of these passages a day. So I know I really overplanned, but and I hate that when I click the check when it's on Spotlight, the schedule turns like that, which is annoying. And in order for me to fix it, I have to unlock it and then put it smaller and then make it a little bigger. Ugh, it's just frustrating. So anyway, and I just deleted it. Anyway, at least there's the undo button. We did just a singular and plural nouns and the regular and plural nouns, but we didn't end up doing the magnetic unit 5, the other poems, and the personal narrative. So that class is a little behind on the personal narrative. Now back to the block 1. As you can see, again, we didn't get through much. We just did the unit 1 unit assessment, and then everything else we just didn't get to. So those are things that I need to move to another day. But this is what we worked on today. And also I went ahead and as we were working on this particular magnetic unit 1 assessment, the students worked on it first. And then when we came back from PE, we worked on a review game. For that review game, I went ahead and updated my Attack the Castle slide so that it can contain 6 kingdoms. And I also created explosion graphics that I saved, and I put multiple graphics on top of each other so that we can just move them to wherever the castles were going to be attacked. But the students really enjoyed this, and as you can see, they spread the attacks, and most of them, actually everyone except Kingdom 4 made it to first place, and then Kingdom 4 made it to second place. First place gets 5 dojo points, second place gets 4 dojo points, and then the students got 5 dojo points on top of that for participation. But I went ahead and I hit something here in the corner, and that is the random selector. I created a list so I can list all my groups, and I would choose the different teams, and I set it so that it knew who had gone, so that at the end of the whole round, it says each student has had their turn, and I will click clear the list and start over so we can start over with our points. And then we went back and had the students answer the questions in that unit assessment. That unit assessment was, of course, the one that I showed you yesterday in their Wonders book. This is my copy from the second class. So the students worked on it, reading the passage again, and then they worked on answering the respond to text questions. So the ones that we used for the actual review game were the multiple choice questions. Question 10 was a short response that the students still need to work on. And the last question was an extended response that the students, again, need to finish. And that is what we worked on. Needless to say, the students had an amazing time, and I'm so glad that I was able to now put my Attack the Castle slide on a classroom screen that I'm going to save for future use. So I'm very excited to have that, and in a future tutorial video, because I want to dedicate a whole tutorial series on how I use classroom screen and how you can use it too in your classroom maybe for next school year. I will include how I did that. But tomorrow I won't be here. I have some doctor's appointments. So I have left everything ready for the sub for tomorrow. And I want to show you how I left everything ready. So my sub plans are here on the side. I also included the seating charts so that the sub knows where the students sit. My block 1 is working out of the Reading Writing Companion for Wonders. And then for writing, they'll be doing this handout. And this one comes from Funny and Fabulous Story Prompts. And that's an ebook that I have. My block 2 are going to be working on the scaffolded shared read for the same thing that my block 1 is going to be doing. And they have a whole packet for that and the same writing assignment. But in addition to this, I also wrote the directions on the board for each block so that they knew exactly what they needed to work on throughout the class period tomorrow. And to leave my classroom ready, because sometimes students don't follow directions well when I'm not here, I put my little signs for this area is closed today, for my flexible seating in the Minecraft Cafe. And I also put my sign because I don't like the students using the laptops when I'm not here because they don't take good care of them. And I also put the sign in our Creeper Corner floor table area. So that's pretty much all I have to share for today, Tuesday, and what I've done to prepare for tomorrow, Wednesday. I will be back on Thursday, which is Take Your Child to Work Day. So it will not be a normal day for a classroom schedule kind of thing. So I have some other activities planned, and my co-teacher and I kind of figured out a schedule since we're going to have little students coming on that day. But I will let you know how it goes, so I'll see you then. Hello, everyone, coming to you at the end of the day, Thursday. Yesterday, as you remember, I took the day off to go to my doctor's appointments, and today I'm back in school, but today is also Take Your Child to Work Day. So out of both of my classes, there were only 6 students that showed up today. So what we did, my co-teacher and I, is in the morning, she gave me 3 hours to work on some gifted paperwork that we needed to do, along with our summative evaluation that's coming up in May. We have to get all the documentation ready, look at data, look at our results, look at parent communication, the professional development that we've done this year, and put it all together, as well as show artifacts that address each professional teaching standard that we're evaluated on. So I have a binder that I made last year where I'm going to gather all my things in. I'll quickly show you how it looks like. I have to update the cover sheet so that it has this year's date. So let me show you. So here's the binder. It's basically a 1-inch binder, and I have Professional Standard 2, what it is, and the blip that goes with it. And behind that, I will be putting some different things. Last year, I put my personality quiz for my houses, but I'm not doing that this year. But I am putting the multiple intelligence survey and the learning style survey that I gave to the students. Then we have Professional Standard 3, which is instructional planning. And I usually just put copies of or samples of my lesson plans along with DI. So then we go to Standard 4, which is instructional delivery and engagement. And I'll show some examples of different things that I've done. Like last year, I did a GIM kit and I did Attack the Castle. Of course, we did Attack the Castle this week. So I'll put a copy of that. Then we have Professional Standard 5, which is assessment, which is all the data analysis. So there's quite a few things that I'm going to be adding to that section. Then we have our communication section, which is the last section that I need to finish because I need to now gather all my dojo messages, and I need the agendas for the meetings. And if it looks kind of blurry, it's because I accidentally, or not realizing, left this binder all summer in my car. So the heat basically attached to the sheet protectors. So I have to replace all the sheet protectors. But that is that standard for communication. Then we have the Standard 7, which is professionalism, which will list all my professional development that I worked on this year. And then, and also for professionalism, like I'll put like examples of Minecraft club and literacy night and math night that we did, or STEM, I forgot. And then we have professional standard 8, which I'll do an updated view of my classroom, or a collage of how my classroom looks. So that is what I'm going to be working on. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll get it all done. As you can see, it's very involved. And no, we don't have to do a binder. I just wanted to do a binder that is ready to go, showing everything that I've been doing this year, artifacts of all the professional standards. As you noticed, it starts with professional standard 2, because professional standard 1 is on learner progress, which is determined by how the students do on the state assessment, which they won't take until May, and then we won't get the full results until next school year. So that is a separate evaluation that is done after my principal evaluates me on standards 2 through 8. So that is all that I have to share for today. The students worked with my co-teacher on a research project on a career or a job that they would like to do. They had to answer some questions and then create a poster. They have, I believe she gave them a week or two to work on it. She'll give the same project to the other students when they return tomorrow. And that's all that they were basically working on today, since we couldn't do regular instruction since we had so many students out today for Take Your Child to Work Day. But tomorrow, it's a regular instructional day, so I'll see you then. Hello everyone, the end of the day, Friday, end of week 32, I believe. Next week is week 33, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm getting my numbers wrong. Hold on. Yep, sure did. Today we wrap up week 33. Next week is week 34. Okay, so anyway, I had a pretty good day with the students today. I started with my homeroom class. As soon as they came in, they needed to work on a reading passage that I wanted to do yesterday with just a few students that came, but my co-teacher wanted to use that for a grade. So we wanted to have all the students work on it, which is a passage called The Work Day. And it is a passage that I got through ReadWorks for free. And after they did that, they worked on finishing iReady Minutes, and students that had been done with their iReady Minutes then got a choice board. This was the slide that I projected on my screen so students knew what to do for today's class in the morning. This was the workday passage. It is a narrative story, and students had to read it and then complete the questions about the story. So this is what they worked on first this morning. And as students finished their assignments and iReady, they had this choice board to work on. I went ahead and put this together so that they had some options. Students who were working on the choice board particularly liked the lunch menu one, so they were working on Canva and on PowerPoint, and then when they were done, they were sharing their creations with me so I can take a look at that later. I wanted to use it as a way for enrichment, since that is my advanced class, and I have gifted learners in there so that they can use their creative thinking and skills to go ahead and put together a creative lunch menu. So then after they finish with that, then they can choose other activities on that sheet. So that's what my block 1 did this morning. My block 2 worked on a poem for our magnetic reading unit 5 assessment. So that passage had a poem first. This was a really fun poem, and then the students worked on answering questions. And then we had another passage that I read with them, and then they had to answer the rest of the questions on their own. Now for this writing response, I went ahead and modeled the writing for them, but they didn't get to finish this because we had a pep rally today. So we had very special guests from the high school across the street from us that came and performed some dances for the students to get them all hyped up and ready for the state test that they're going to be taking soon. So they did that, and then my co-teacher and I decided to end the day with some outdoor recess. So that was our Friday, and I just finished planning for next week and getting all my papers ready for lessons for next week, which I organized in my Monday through Friday cart. This is something that I got in clearance at Lowe's many years ago, so I can't really tell you where to find it. I got my homework here for the students. I have my block 1 and my block 2 assignments, And then for Tuesday, I start with block 2. And then on the bottom, I have block 3. Wednesday, I start with block 1 and then my block 2. Thursday, my block 2 and then my block 1. And then Friday doesn't really have anything yet because I need to make copies of the scaffolded reading assessment for my ELLs, which will be the only copies that are in that cart. And then my advanced group takes their tests online. So these are my lesson plans for next week. And there is our reading and our writing and our homework. So that is all ready to go for next week. It is 5 minutes to 5, which is great. So I can get all my things and go since I am 100% ready for next week. And I'm excited. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.